It was a cold Tuesday evening in the small town of Willow Creek. The sky was turning orange as the sun slowly dipped behind the hills. Mark Turner, a 34-year-old single dad, was walking home with his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. His jacket was old, his shoes worn out, but he held Lily's tiny hand with warmth and pride. "Daddy," Lily said, looking up at him with her big brown eyes, "what are we having for dinner tonight?" Mark smiled faintly. "Whatever we can afford, sweetheart. Maybe macaroni again." Lily didn't complain. She never did. She was used to their simple life. Her mom had left when Lily was only 3, and since then, it had just been the two of them. Mark worked at a car repair shop during the day and sometimes took odd jobs at night. Money was always tight, but love was never in short supply. As they passed the small park near their apartment, Lily suddenly stopped. "Daddy," she whispered, tugging on his hand. "Look." Under the big oak tree, a woman sat on a bench, her face buried in her hands. Her shoulders shook as if she was crying. "Daddy, why is the lady crying?" Lily asked softly. Mark hesitated. He didn't want to get involved in someone else's problems. Life was already complicated enough. But something about the woman, maybe the way she sat so alone, or how broken she looked, touched his heart. "Wait here, Lily," he said gently and walked toward the bench. The woman looked up when she heard his footsteps. Her eyes were red, mascara smudged, but even in her sadness, there was something graceful about her. She wore a long beige coat, expensive looking, though Mark didn't notice much. "Ma'am," Mark said awkwardly, are you all right?" She shook her head, wiping her tears quickly. "I'm fine. Just having a bad day." Her voice was soft, almost trembling. Mark nodded slowly. He knew that feeling all too well. "Do you need help? Someone to call?" "No," she whispered. "I just needed a moment." Lily, curious, ran up beside her dad. "Don't cry," she said innocently. "Daddy says crying makes your head hurt." The woman smiled weakly at the little girl. "Your daddy's right," she said softly. Mark was about to leave, thinking she wanted to be alone, when he noticed she wasn't dressed for the cold evening. "Look," he said, "there's a small cafe around the corner. My daughter and I were about to grab something warm. Maybe you should come. Sitting out here in the cold won't help." The woman hesitated. She didn't know these people. But there was something genuine in the way the man spoke. "Please," Lily added with a smile. "Hot chocolate makes everything better." Finally, the woman nodded. "All right," she said quietly. As they walked toward the cafe together, Mark had no idea this stranger would soon change his life forever. He didn't know she wasn't just any woman. He didn't know she was hiding from a life far bigger than anything he could imagine. All he saw was someone who needed kindness. And that was enough for him. The cafe was small, cozy, and smelled of fresh coffee and baked bread. A few students sat with their laptops open, and an elderly couple shared a pot of tea by the window. Mark, Lily, and the woman found a corner table. "Hot chocolate, right?" Mark asked Lily, who nodded eagerly. "And for you?" he asked the woman. "Tea, please," she said softly, still avoiding eye contact. Mark ordered their drinks and returned to the table. Lily was already chatting with the woman as if they were old friends. "My name's Lily," she said proudly. "I'm 8. What's your name?" The woman hesitated for a second before answering. "Isabella," she said finally. "But you can call me Bella." Lily smiled. "Bella. That's pretty." Mark watched quietly. He was a simple man, not used to strangers sitting with him, especially elegant ones like her. Her coat looked expensive, her shoes too, but her eyes, they carried a sadness money couldn't hide. The drinks arrived. Lily sipped her hot chocolate, leaving a little mustache of foam above her lips. Mark chuckled and handed her a napkin. Bella wrapped her hands around the warm cup of tea but didn't drink right away. She seemed lost in thought. Long day? Mark asked finally. She looked at him, her eyes tired. Long life, she whispered before quickly changing the subject. Do you live around here? Mark nodded. Yeah, just a few blocks away. With your wife? She asked casually. Mark hesitated. It's just me and Lily, he said simply. Her mom left when Lily was little. Bella's eyes softened. I'm sorry. Mark shrugged. Life goes on. Lily, unaware of the heavy tone, started talking about school, her favorite cartoons, and how she wanted to be a doctor when she grew up. Bella listened with genuine interest, smiling faintly at the little girl's enthusiasm. After a while, Bella finally spoke about herself. I was in the city for a meeting, she said slowly, choosing her words carefully. It didn't go well. Mark didn't cry. Everyone had their battles. He wasn't about to judge. Do you live alone? Lily asked innocently. Bella paused. I have a place, she said vaguely. Mark could sense she didn't want to share too much, so he changed the topic. So, what do you do for a living? Bella gave a small smile. I run a company, she said carefully. Mark raised his eyebrows slightly. She didn't look like a local business owner. But he didn't push further. After all, people exaggerate things sometimes. The conversation drifted to lighter things. Lily told a funny story about her teacher falling off a chair, and for the first time that evening, Bella laughed. A real, warm laugh that made her seem less like a stranger. But then, as they were finishing their drinks, Bella's phone rang. She glanced at the screen, and her expression changed instantly. Fear, anxiety. Mark couldn't tell. Excuse me, she said quickly and stepped outside to take the call. Mark watched her through the cafe window. Her voice was low but tense, her hands moving as if she was arguing with someone. Daddy, Lily whispered, she looked scared. Mark nodded slowly. Something was definitely off. When Bella returned, she looked distracted. Thank you for the tea, she said quickly. I should go. Mark wanted to say something, maybe offer help, but she was already gathering her things. Will we see you again? Lily asked, a little sad. Bella hesitated. Maybe, she said softly before walking out into the night. Mark watched her leave, feeling a strange mix of concern and curiosity. Who was she really? Why did she look so lost? He didn't know the answers yet. But deep down, he felt this wasn't the last time their paths would cross. And he was right.